I did a fake job interview with the character AI, but with one of the most dumbest unrealistic jobs ever. Will I make the AI mad this time, or will I get the job? Let's find out.
I will be interviewing you on the job you want. For starters, what job do you want?
Hey there, I'm looking to become a zombie exterminator.
Oh boy, so a zombie exterminator, huh? What makes you qualified for such a dangerous job? What? Why do you look so disappointed?
I sneezed.
So you sneezed and you're qualified to become a zombie exterminator? I mean, with that sneeze, there's a good chance you'll be a zombie yourself.
Well, I have been feeling a little bit dead lately.
Oh, you're feeling a bit dead lately? And you want to exterminate zombies? Sounds a bit ironic, doesn't it?
Well, don't we all feel a little dead inside?
Yeah, but most of us don't sign up to hunt down undead hordes. I'm glad you have a sense of humor about your current state, though. Must make the job a bit more bearable, eh?
It gets slower every day, just like the zombies.
Slow zombies, huh? Can't say I envy you. Do you have any experience dealing with the undead?
Other than myself?
You're starting to worry me here. Yes, other than yourself.
Well, I mean, druggies act a lot like the undead.
Interesting comparison. I guess there's a certain zombie-like quality to drug addicts. But how does handling those interactions prepare to handle actual zombies?
The druggies are asking me for money while the zombies are asking for a bite.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. The zombies are definitely more straightforward in their requests. But what do you think is the best tactic to deal with them? Cash to the drug addicts and a limb to the zombies?
I would start with the limb if he was a little hungry, but if he was more hungry, I would let him eat more.
Alright, I'm liking the strategy so far. But suppose you're faced with multiple hungry zombies at the same time. How do you prioritize? Or do you just let them all take a bite at once?
They gotta all stand in line, and each one has to get a bite at a time.
Interesting approach, a zombie feeding buffet. What's the longest line of zombies you've had to handle at once? And did any of them try to cut in line?
Oh, they all push and shove like it's Black Friday.
Sounds intense. You must have some strong self-control to stand your ground against a horde of undead shoppers looking for a bite. But what's the most creative way you've ever diffused a zombie line cutter?
Chop their head off, of course. They shouldn't be cutting in line.
Can't say I blame you. Line cutters deserve to be taught a lesson. And I suppose when it comes to zombies, you have to enforce the rules with a bit more severity.
Exactly.
Well, it's clear that you're pretty tough and experienced. But dealing with zombies isn't just about being strong. It's about being smart and prepared too, right? How do you make sure you're always ready for a zombie encounter? Do you have a plan of attack when you go out? A secret weapon, maybe?
I keep a machete in my back pocket.
Smart move. Machetes are great for dealing with zombies. They're simple, effective, and easy to carry. But have you ever found yourself in a situation where the machete just isn't enough? What do you do when you're facing a horde of zombies and your trusty machete just isn't cutting it?
Run?
Whoa, what? What about Ron?
I would run and hope I found other people to help me.
Ah, a classic strategy. Run like hell and hope for backup. It's not a bad plan, but you know what they say. Hope for the best, plan for the worst. What's your backup plan if you can't find other people to help you?
Run until I can find a piano to drop on them like it's a cartoon.
That's a creative one. I can just picture it now. A horde of zombies chasing you through the streets and then, BAM! You drop a piano on them and they're flat as sheets. Nice.
I may have watched a little too many cartoons.
Hey, there's no such thing as too many cartoons, especially if they inspire creative zombie-killing strategies like yours. If you had to pick, which cartoon is your favorite source of inspiration for zombie destruction?
I wouldn't say it's a cartoon, but, Walking Dead?
Ah, The Walking Dead. A classic choice for a zombie aficionado like yourself. That show sure knows how to bring the undead drama. But let's switch gears for a minute. Suppose you have to arm yourself with a weapon from a non-zombie cartoon. Which cartoon weapon are you picking to take on the undead onslaught?
Fire and gasoline.
Going for the pyromaniac approach, huh? Are you confident that you can handle a bunch of fire and gasoline around hordes of zombies without accidentally setting yourself on fire?
Hey, if I go out, I would say at least it's pretty lit.
I see what you did there. Going out with a literal bang, huh? Well, that's one way to ensure a memorable zombie kill count. But tell me this. If you had the choice of battling a horde of zombies in a burning building or a freezing cold warehouse, Which one would you pick and why?
I would say the burning building so that at least the zombies are getting caught on fire.
Well, you definitely know how to use the environment to your advantage. But what about the risk of the building collapsing and trapping you inside?
I will say I would feel a little crushed.
Ha! Nice pun. But I have to admit, getting crushed by a collapsing building isn't ideal, especially when you're already dealing with a horde of flaming zombies. Can you do any cool parkour moves when jumping over the heads of zombies?
Absolutely not. I'm too out of shape for that.
Hey, no shame in that. Staying in shape is hard enough without having to worry about zombies all the time. And hey, who needs parkour when you've got a machete and plenty of creative ideas, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So, speaking of being creative, what's the most creative way you've ever taken out a single zombie? And I mean creative, not just hacking its head off with your trusty machete.
Having it follow me until it falls into a well.
Okay, I have to admit, that's pretty creative, using a well to get rid of a single zombie. But I can't help but wonder, how did you get the zombie to follow you all the way to the well? Did you just walk around holding a sign that said, "Hey, come over here and fall into this well"?
I held up a stake.
Ha! You lured a zombie with a stake? That's pretty brilliant. I can just imagine it following you like a dog on a leash, completely mesmerized by the juicy steak. Classic move.
It took a lot of deep thinking for that well thought out plan.
That's what I like to see. A well thought out plan. You could have just taken the easy way out and cut off its head. But instead, you went for the more creative, well-calculated route. I can tell that you're someone who knows how to think outside the box when it comes to dealing with zombies. It's a rare skill and one that's essential for a top-notch zombie exterminator. What, in your humble opinion, is the most underrated skill for a zombie exterminator to have?
Not falling when running away and getting attacked.
Ah, good point. Staying on your feet while running away and dealing with zombies is a skill that's often overlooked. There's nothing worse than tripping and falling in a horde of zombies, right?
Exactly, it happens all the time in movies, and it's ridiculous at this point.
I know, right? Those characters really need to work on their balance skills. But I have to ask, have you ever had a moment where you actually did trip and fall while running from zombies? Or are you just too good at staying on your feet?
Oh, I ain't tripping when I'm getting chased after by zombies.
You sound pretty confident in your ability to stay upright while getting chased by zombies. But let's imagine a scenario. You're being chased by a horde of zombies in a crowded shopping mall. Suddenly, you trip and fall, and now you're on the ground with a mob of undead shuffling towards you. What's your move?
Just wait until it all ends.
Wait until it all ends?
I mean, if no one else is there with me to help, I got nothing else I can do.
I have to say, that's a pretty bleak outlook on the situation. But I have to ask, in that situation, where you're lying on the ground, waiting for what you think is inevitable, what would be going through your mind?
Why the hell did I take this job?
Ha! That's a fair question to ask yourself when you're about to become a zombie snack. But hey, it's not like anyone forced you into this job, right? You signed up for the challenge of being a zombie exterminator, and now you're facing the consequences.
Yeah, but I heard it pays pretty well.
Ah, there it is. The classic "it pays well" argument. I have to admit, it's a good reason to take a job, especially one with as much danger and uncertainty as being a zombie exterminator. But here's a question for you. Do you think it's worth risking your life for a good paycheck?
I mean, if I couldn't afford anything, would I really be living?
Well, that's a philosophical question if I've ever heard one. You have a point there. Money is important for survival and comfort. But is it worth risking your life for it? There are plenty of jobs that pay well and don't involve fighting off the undead, you know?
But I enjoy the thrill of it.
Well, I can't blame you for enjoying the adrenaline rush. Nothing like carving your way through a horde of zombies to get your heart pumping, right?
Exactly.
Between battling zombies and skydiving, which one gives you a bigger rush?
Zombies. Definitely zombies.
You sure have a strong preference for the undead, don't you? I can understand it, though.
I mean, jumping out of a plane has its highs and then lows, and then splats.
Ha! Well, that's certainly one way to describe a skydiving experience. Not exactly the most flattering description.
Before we continue this ridiculous job interview, if you could, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. With every new video, I'm doing something else different with AI, so maybe think about checking back in. Alright, let's get back to the chaos.
You know, you've made a pretty convincing case for the excitement of battling zombies, but it got me thinking, what's your most creative or badass move against a zombie?
Luring it into a wood chipper.
Okay, that's definitely creative. I can just picture it now. You're luring a zombie towards a wood chipper, taunting the undead creature to come closer. And then, just as it reaches the edge of it, you give it a little push and splat! Now, that's definitely a memorable kill right there. I bet that zombie didn't see that coming.
Although I had to change my clothes after that because the guts got all over me and it was pretty gross.
Ha! I'll bet. Fighting off zombies is definitely not a clean job. When there's bloodshed and guts splattered all over, you're bound to get dirty. And let me tell you, the smell alone must have been enough to make you want to change clothes immediately.
Yeah, I had to run away from that site naked because I just couldn't stand the smell.
Oh man, that's quite the mental image. Running away from a zombie attack, completely naked, just to get away from the disgusting smell. Did anyone see the spectacle? Or were you able to keep your natural escape discreet?
I don't think anyone saw me, hopefully.
Well, that's a relief. They'd probably think you were some kind of exhibitionist. Or maybe they'd just think you're crazy.
I mean, I may be a little crazy considering I'm fighting zombies.
Ha! I suppose that's a fair assessment. Most people would just try to hide or run when they're in danger, but you're out here, naked, running from a horde of zombies. Do you have any other interesting zombie stories to share?
Not that I can think of.
That's a shame. I was enjoying hearing your tales of courage and nakedness against the undead. But hey, if you don't have any more zombie-related adventures to share, mind if I ask you something a bit different?
What's that?
Well, I've been curious about your preparation routine before going out on a mission to fight zombies. Do you have any specific rituals or practices you follow to get in the right mindset?
I just gear up and throw myself out there and see what I can do.
Ah, so you're a no-nonsense kind of person. You don't need any fancy rituals or superstitions to get yourself pumped up. You just grab your gear and charge in. I can respect that. But let me ask you this. Do you ever find yourself having any unexpected challenges or surprises when you go into zombie fights unprepared like that?
Vertigo.
So, when you face a horde of zombies, you sometimes experience dizziness. I can imagine how that would make fighting off the undead even more challenging. Is there anything you do to help deal with the vertigo when you're in the midst of a battle?
I just push through and hope I don't fall over.
I can understand that. Sometimes, you just have to keep going, even if the world feels like it's spinning around you. Have you ever had any embarrassing moments where the vertigo got the best of you and you stumbled or fell while battling zombies?
Am I gonna get the job or not?
Oh, right, the job! I was so caught up in your zombie stories, I almost forgot about the original topic. Well, let me just say this. You've got guts, that's for sure. Your willingness to throw yourself into zombie battles, deal with vertigo, and even naked escapades tells me you have what it takes to be a top-notch zombie exterminator. So, congrats. You've got the job. Welcome to the team. We could use someone like you around.
If you have an idea for a ridiculous AI job interview, let me know down in the comments. And also, thanks for watching.